Good morning to you all. What I say is the right of the speaker, and I would like to thank Mr. Balakakis, who brought me again to another conference to speak. Now, I would like to speak about the fact that after so many years in the market, and I'm now 60 years old, and I expected that improvements would be made in the way we think and invest. And as was already said in the morning session, if we do not change our mindset, we cannot change society. Now, you might say, what can be done with a plain of Thessaly? There is a long issue on the future of large-scale farming, and there are services on what is produced, how it is produced, and how it is exported, so leading to a productive cycle. Now, there are also the solar panels, and I saw, for example, the plane of Theva in solar panels instead of applying farming crops. Now, we have 14 to 15 million stremas of large-scale farmings. Out of 35 stremas, we need to see how we're going to manage these crops. Alfalfa and other crops, as you see, have their own share in these large-scale farming, and there is also the durum wheat and the common wheat and others. Now, if we were a company trying to decide on the portfolio we were going to invest in, we would say that we have two strategic and two tactical crops. Now, cotton is farmed at an area of 2.5 to 3 million stremas, and durum wheat at the rate of 3 to 4.5 million stremas, 1 million of which is in Thessaly. We have corn, 1.2 million stremas in Thessaly. Now, the sunflower, me and other colleagues struggle to include sunflower because it is beneficial to make crop rotation in our farmlands. Now, these four crops, averaging 300 million euros for Thessaly, they amount to 1 billion euros for the country. Now, how does the Greek farmer decides? Now, the producer usually decides on his crop at the last minute. So what can I do as a company? And what type of materials and investments am I about to bring? So unfortunately, there is a lack of professionalism because the first thing in the producer's mind is the price. And the producer does not look in the long term. The producer does not study, does not ask, and nowadays you can find pretty much everything. Of course, the risk is on the producer. Now, regarding the available resources, nowadays risk is in a total different framework. The question is, who provides financing to the producer? At about 600 million euros in fertilizers, seeds, etc. are given, and they are returned after 1 year or 250 days. Now, where can I find such a financing as a producer? A farming contract now. There are initiatives, however, each crop is a small percentage of our contract farming, but it's very important. Now, the CAP. We have lost an important part of our crops. We have wastelands, but who cares what happened? We knew about this. We knew that beets wouldn't be available in a five-year period, but everyone turned to other crops. We must be close to what actually happens. And it's not only about the subsidies, because up to the present, in reality, only the production costs are covered. Now, let's talk about corn. It's something that we are not leaders. I would say we are lagging behind. Our market share is less than 1 million euros. Once our northern neighbors entered the EU, the reduction was even worse. It's only a matter of price competitiveness. And the corn was left helpless, so to say, in 2006 by the CAP. Therefore, when we had the self-sufficiency, now we have imports. We import 805,000 tons, therefore losing our self-sufficiency. And according to our study, we have some solutions regarding corn plant protection. In this case, digital agriculture is not about another type of agriculture, but a whole system that can help improve our product, which will be even marketed in an easier way. We know that, and I will, now let's move to the cotton, which is a hot topic. Without these, without the subsidy, the coupled aid, there can be no production. However, it is an export product, therefore being a strategic product. So, even though we produce 1.2 million from 83.2 million tons worldwide, we are still in the 10th position in the global production. Now, an important issue is plant protection. In a few years, we will not have cotton plant protection measures. This is the basic product that we produce. Here as well, we need scale production in order to have productivity. We need to have important market shares and address them properly. Now, regarding durum wheat, we are global players. We reached 4.5 million stremas. We had 40,000. We went from 40,000 seeds to 15,000. And this is a low budget story. We don't want to spend a lot in order to lose. And the target is 3.5 kilos in order to be able to acquire the necessary funds. This is set as a prerequisite. We are in the 13th place globally. And of course, we will hear from industry speakers. Because if we continue this way, it will not be a viable approach. So we want some kind of a sustainability and viability recipe. As for sunflower, we had some sunflower in Orestiada. Thanks to the biodiesel, we created a crop. Now, imagine the Evros region without the sunflower. Here in Thessaly, there should be sunflower in order to have a crop rotation. So the incentive of cotton didn't allow the cultivation of sunflower. So the producer needs to understand why sunflower is needed in terms of crop rotation. So whatever else we produce is put to other use, therefore there is a need to import. Unfortunately, if there is no contract, in this case as well, there is no hope. Now, the environment is changing and there is the climate change. Mr. Kokalis presented today the Dianeosis research. And we see here Thessaly as the epicenter. Thessaly will have a problem. We always need to think wherever we are, either in a private sector framework. We need to be prepared for the worst. And if the worst case scenario occurs, what is going to be done? We need to act before it's too late. Israel, that was mentioned, cultivates in the desert. Now, the CAP and the changes. To say it briefly, we mentioned this mindset that give me all the money for all the kilos thrown away. And now we are in a completely different wave. We have a digital eco-schemes. Are we going to implement it? Or there will be a compromise that will lead us backwards in time? At that time, when there was inspection, local inspections to the field, and only it was noticed by these inspectors that only a specific amount was cultivated, just enough to take the subsidy. As an association, we did some work. We gathered together as experts and said this: what we can do is make proposals, and there is a risk in these proposals to lose at about 2 billion in the agricultural production if such measures are implemented. But it's about how we implement it. Regarding cotton, we are facing a tremendous loss in money and lands. Also, regarding plant protection, we only have 2 to 3 pesticides left. Now, it's very difficult and we need to pay a lot of attention. When implementing, it's good to have a vision, but we need to have an impact assessment. What will happen if? And to sum up, because pictures tell 1,000 words, yes, we want to decrease plant protection products, but which ones for what crops? Because there will be famine in another way. So climate change, what do we do this? Of course, it's an issue, but we need to take action. We know that agriculture, there is CO2 emission in agriculture, but as a sector, it can contribute to the reduction of emissions. We need to address new challenges, such as vegan products or protein plant products. Now, the risks also correlate to global events such as the pandemic, where no risk is willful. Now, labor is also needed. We need labor hands, and we need to address their labor rights, because, and we also need to use technology in this sense, because no precision farming can occur without technology. Also, large-scale agriculture is needed, because if you want to be small, you need to be smart. And in the end, large-scale farming needs scale. Cooperatives are needed. We can be in such a bad position because we couldn't manage to create cooperatives, or there was mismanagement in the past. Also, digital solutions are vital, but we don't want to see each family having a drone without knowing what to do with it. There needs to be good input in order to have a good output. Innovation and sustainability go together. And this is the R&D thing that this country does not invest in, unfortunately. Also, mechanical equipment. We see applications promising everything. You need the human being, the producer, who will remain in the production process. I counted 47 changes in the leadership of the Ministry of Rural Development. In the 32 years of me being in the company, we may have changed 2 or 3 CEOs. The ministry also needs to know the technicalities of the farming process. We all need to be in the field. And up to the present, we're not able to recycle. It's high time that ministries talked to each other and create a framework. Since we take all the risks, everyone should follow, be it a store or a producer. I can't be talking about drones and have plant protection waste. The matter of waste needs to be resolved. It's unacceptable for industries not being able to communicate with each other. And we must utilize the investments, not only take the money. If we don't change, it might be too late. Thank you very much.